Howdy guys, Joe Smith here. So I finally got my lift in from Ford Ranger lifts, and didn't realize it was coming with a shirt and a koozie and some stickers, but I'm totally good with that. So this is everything that the level lift entails. So I'm gonna throw it on, and we're gonna see what it looks like when it's done. So this is stock height. Alright guys, so I got the lift all on, and that is a 2-inch lift from FordRangerLifts.com. Shout out to Robbie Woolworth. I have it sitting next to a 2022 Nissan Frontier. So with the lift, you can kind of see it almost sits kind of like a mid-sized truck now. The ground clearance is great. I'm pumped with that. I am absolutely pumped. You can see we measured at the lowest spots, and so that Frontier there is actually that's the stock height. And I actually have an extra inch of clearance over this Frontier. So if we go to the back here, obviously the Frontier it doesn't have a level or anything, that's just stock height. So you can see how my truck's a little flatter on the backside, but we still have plenty of clearance on that Maverick all the way around. I will be going out to the deer lease here shortly, so I'm going to do a little bit more off-roading with it, and we'll see how the lift handles just the really basic off-roading stuff that you guys saw in my previous video, which it already handled it fine. So we'll see if all that brush keeps scraping across the bottom as much. But yeah, here it is. I just thought you guys would like to see it with the lift on it. Here, let me get a closer view of the front for you. So that's what you're looking like there. And in the front, from the A-arms, it was about 10 inches ground clearance. And I did not measure the back yet, but I will do that. And on the back, the exhaust, that is what hangs the lowest. But still pretty fantastic clearance there, like as you can see in comparison to this Frontier. Alright guys, so been at the deer lease all weekend. You can tell because it's a little dirtier than the last time I posted a video of it. And this thing has handled great off-road with the lift, about the same as it did before. But I did notice that when I went to my deer feeders, which you guys saw in the last video, the kind of stuff that I have to go through to get to them, that it handled it just as well as it did, except I didn't have near as much ground clearance issues. So on a few of those spots that you guys saw in the last video, it did rub sometimes on the bottom, like it bottomed out a little bit, but now with this 2-inch lift, it handles great. On the 3.5-hour trip out here, I did reset my trip timer, and with all my gear in it and whatnot, I was getting in my buddies in it. I was getting 24-ish miles to the gallon. So on the way out here it was about 22.5 to 23. So with the lift, I did lose a little bit of gas mileage, but to me it's worth it, just for what I need it for. I'm probably not going to go bigger on the tires because I didn't want to go too much larger than stock anyways, because this is still my daily driver, and so one of the main reasons that I like this truck was even in the EcoBoost, it still is very good on gas, significantly better than in any truck I've had previously. So I'm probably going to leave the tire size the same, which that's the 245/65 R17s. So they're a little bit bigger than the stock tire size. I mainly just kind of needed a slightly more aggressive tread, because out here it's not really anything too crazy, but this stuff here, when it gets wet, it's easy to rut up, and so the extra traction is definitely nice. Um, but it is a lot of rocks and stuff. Um, so but that's why I needed those extra tires. So between that and the 2-inch lift, really the only thing that I can ever really see myself doing is just putting one of those little brush guards on the front, not like a full front end covered brush guard, but just the ones that are kind of like a cow bumper, because we do have some cows out here that they need a little bump to get moved out of the way because they just don't like to move. But past that, this truck has been phenomenal out here, especially with the lift. I'm really, really happy with it. I'm almost 200 miles short of 4,000 miles and zero buyer's remorse. So if you guys have any other questions or anything I can answer for you, just make sure to hit me up in the comments, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. And to all the people that really, really like how I utilize the cubby in front of my display, yes, the toilet paper is still there. It's never going away. I use it way too much. Thanks, guys. So, small update. The Maverick did great on the way back from the deer lease. I had just me, my clothes, and my pack and my gun. And then I did have all my normal tools in here, which is, I think, around 150 pounds. And then I did have a 70-quart cooler full of meat from a deer that I unalived a few weeks ago. And with just me in the truck and just the normal stuff that I carry in it, plus just my hunting gear, I did get 26 miles to the gallon on the way back. So that's a 3.5-hour drive back from where I hunt. And so that was with the lift, with the tires, and so, which to me is still pretty great gas mileage on the highway. I was doing about 77 to 80 miles an hour on the way back. So pretty good pace, and then pretty good gas mileage. So it still went down a little bit, because with just me, I've gotten 28 pretty regularly. So to go down from 28 to 26 on the highway, I'm still good with that, because it's still really good gas mileage.